It's radical, it's sadical, and it's dadical. You're listening to the Redwood Voicecast. I'm Persephone Rose.
And I'm Gwen.
And I'm Eleni.
And we're doing an episode of the Redwood Voicecast. Gwen and I are basically on top of each other. There was more mic malfunctions, but it was less intimidating than the electric snake ordeal.
I've commandeered her mic. She just thinks she's important still.
You're kind of like you're like those parasites that latch onto a fish.
I'm literally bigger than you and I could kill you.
They like cut out their tongues and becomes their tongue. You know
I
what I'm
might
talking
cut
about?
out your tongue if you keep going.
I'll kill you.
I thought you were talking about the parasites that like sit on sharks and kind of just like vibe to get where they need to go.
No, those are fine. They're just vibing. But I'm talking about the kind that's like they go into the fish and replace their tongue with their own body, which is wild. And then they eat all the fish's food. The 1%, am I right? Guys, we gotta... As we all know, Gwen is a large supporter of capitalism.
You, I'm gonna bite you.
We can't swear, Elliot. And we're back. I had to resuscitate the Victorian orphan because we're on daytime radio. Well, we're not. We're actually recording this ahead of time because of the bad last episode. So, how's everyone doing today?
I'm vibing. I'm present.
Gwen?
There's a nerd who spits when they talk next to me.
You're saying that like you don't.
I don't.
You just spit on my face.
No, I didn't. You're lying. I literally watched to see if I did, and I didn't. You're full of I hate you. Go die.
I'm gonna have to blur so much of this out. This is just a vaudeville comedy act happening on one microphone. Which is also funny because this is the first episode in a while where we have serious things to talk about. In Redwood Voice news, we always open it up with latest projects going on, and then we get into the goofs.
Projects.
So I'll just really quickly take it away with some of mine. Dam negotiations back in November that were finally settled. Stuff been going through with that. And as such, I've created a video in the How We Got Here series. The How We Got Here series is just, historical things happen around here, and we want to make sure it's all documented after the fact. That way it's not lost to history. And we've did that for the Klamath River Dam Negotations. It's a 20-minute video. I dive into why the dams are bad in the first place, how negotiations got to where they are, where they were previously. Basically just kind of encapsulating why everything started happening as much as it did in 2020. All that fun stuff. So please go check that out on the Redwood Voice YouTube channel. You can find all of our links on our link tree, linktr.ee/Redwood Voice. Gwen is just, as I'm saying this, Gwen just has the stare of a goat. Ominous and ready to make a deal.
I hate you.
Yeah? Do tell. In other news, there is actually a development on the dam negotiations story. There's a chance, and I'm very much hoping for it to go through, that we'll be speaking with someone from the KFUG tribe.
Put your grody sneaker down.
No.
Get away from me.
It's not that grody.
It's grody. Ew.
We're hoping to talk to a member of the KFUG tribe because someone did point out a criticism that I think is totally fair, that in the video I didn't really explore the KFUG tribe involvement, and mostly that was because none of the articles or information I found covered that. There's a weird thing of I don't know if it's just kind of how people treat indigenous folks, where if one's vocal and another's not, they're cut out, or if maybe it's just because they're not as local, but essentially I just didn't see anything about the KFUG's involvement, and I'm excited to talk to the KFUG. I'm interested in both their involvement and maybe even why they weren't involved in a lot of media coverage, because this isn't just a one-off story. This is a really big deal. This is a historical thing.
I heard earlier mention of Sammy Gensaw. Is that who you're going to talk to?
That's actually a separate thing, but yes, Sammy Gensaw commented on the KFUG Instagram, which I'm just not on, so I didn't see the notification.
I think I know who that is.
I think a lot of people.
I grew up around his family.
And I've heard only good things. He's a big water activist around here, and so I'm when I heard that, I was kind of excited. So we're going to message him. That'll possibly be a third video on the subject. Yes, Gwen.
What?
You did a loud exhale.
I'm breathing.
How dare you? Breathe quieter for me and my purpose. Gwen's one of those bark bark woof woof in public kids.
I will gladly bark at a man if he even thinks at me wrong.
If I see a man, I will bark at him. Avi and I can never really have a conversation because of it.
Just...
But yeah, so a lot of exciting stuff in Indigenous water news. And one of the things, the point that I actually tried to drive home at the video, because Amy Cordalis, who's the general counsel of the Yurok tribe, put it, this is a pretty different way from how most Indigenous monuments being saved goes. Like, you guys remember Standing Rock and various other things throughout history,
Yeah.
I'm sure. So this is pretty different, and maybe a precedent, hoping. I mean, we're going to have to fight for it's a precedent we got to, like, really force, but it's something.
We can only hope.
We can only hope. And Gwen. So Gwen, you're still in training and you've been struggling with the story. What was that story about? Do you not know?
I do. I'm just trying to keep coherent.
Because if you don't know, I can cut that out.
Stop looking at me.
All right, you can tell me.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's great radio.
It's okay.
Eleni.
Yes.
We did a interview with the one and only John Degler, or as he corrected, JD, because that's his father and
his
grandfather's
father and
name.
grandfather is John Degler. He's JD.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we did the interview on recently, within the last week.
Don't date it.
And
who knows when this is coming out?
Yeah, we mainly talked about kind of what John himself and his involvement is with it, and like the gist of what the story is about, which is group therapy, D&D, recreational group therapy, D&D, and like RPGs, that kind of vibes. And gave us a bunch of information, like where to find all the cool stuff if you want to volunteer or work for it, and how he's basically just starting, and it's a big process, but he's looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
He gave us kind of the angle of, he wanted us to talk specifically to the creator of this program, Hawk Robinson, who we will be. I messaged him. He wants to get something down. We've just not been able to since, because we're busy people. But, yeah, hoping to do that soon.
Should be fun.
Should be fun.
I actually look forward to it. It's an interesting thing.
I am too. The interview got me kind of pumped. Like, this is so cool, and the possibilities of bringing it to Crescent City is pretty cool. Would you get on, Gwen, if a bus came up to you that said, recreational D&D, come on in, get your therapy, would you hop on?
I'd throw rocks at it.
Well, Gwen wasn't there for the story, so maybe that's why. Which, in that case, she should listen to that project whenever it's done.
Fun stuff.
So what do we want to talk about today, gang? That's about all there is in projects. A lot of stuff elsewise is just in the weeds, as it were. That's a phrase, but I don't think it means anything, or not what I'm trying to make it mean.
I've never heard that in my life.
You know, you kick a ball and it goes in the weeds, and you're like, dang, my ball.
Oh no.
Oh no. I'm trying to move my foot away from you, Gwen. So you can talk.
Why don't you put it down like a normal person?
Well,
this
because
way
we're
it's
gay.
not touching you, because you keep going away. Fine, but it's really uncomfortable when I have chronic pain.
Yeah, you are a chronic pain. How does like folding them like a praying mantis make it better?
I don't know, because it's allowing them to curl naturally. I'm just saying it hurts this way, but I'll do it for you.
Persephone has straightened her legs for my benefit.
Yeah.
Everyone, please, in your homes, in your vehicles, across the nation, give her a round of applause.
Just quietly sipping my canteen. We're still...
Okay, she called me a furry, and her canteen has Shadow the Hedgehog on it. Her canteen has Shadow...
That's not Shadow the Hedgehog, that's Mephisto. Or Mephistopheles.
Mephistopheles is a f***ing biblical demon.
Memphis, Tennessee.
That is Shadow the Hedgehog.
No, that's Shadow's evil clone.
Shadow's already evil.
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's ambivalent.
I feel like you correcting it makes it worse and just adds to, like, Gwen's argument.
I'm just saying, if you're going to call me out correctly.
Whatever. Okay, it's worse. Persephone has Mephistopheles the Hedgehog, presumably a derivative of Mephistopheles the Demon, which is much cooler.
Yeah,
I'm actually much more concerned about the Furby.
The Furb? Oh yeah, I got a sleepy Furby. I'm surprised you didn't comment on my Sanrio stickers.
Because Sanrio's cute.
Yeah, but also anyone who has a mental illness flocks to it. Like me.
I was gonna say that describes most of our interests.
Yeah. Oh, fun thing, just for people listening who are like, oh, these people are interesting talkers. Eleni and Gwen are new to radio, and I'm teaching them that they can talk.
I thought you were saying neutered.
They have been neutered.
By the radio.
So that there's no... See, as part of the Redwood Voice job process, you're made infertile so that you can't have children.
We can't be breeding the radio hosts.
Oh, God. We're joking, but that sounds like some sort of awful old experiment.
Sounds like a creepypasta where, like, the Redditor is like, so, I don't tell this to everyone, but I'm about to yield to you my most sacred, my most profane, my most forbidden, my most cherished, my most awful information.
And that's the title of the creepypasta.
The radio breeding story.
That's the title of it because they always have things like, giraffes used to be my favorite animal, but after it smacked my ass, not anymore.
Having sex at the radio used to be my...
No, finish what you were saying, Gwen. Go ahead. Mike's all yours. Oh, go ahead.
Finish the thought for the class.
Having...
Elliot's dead, by the way. He went into cardiac arrest hours ago. You're just making spit noises.
You. Having...
Hi, Jessica. You can come through.
Are you guys done?
No.
We're just
It's a very
recording.
casual recording. Jessica Cejnar, everybody.
Woo!
Jessica.
Yeah, I keep you guys supplied with some content.
Jessica Cejnar. Very lovely person.
We love her.
Anyway, back to the radio breeding project.
Wait, can we get the door on the bees? The closet of bees appears to be open.
Release the bees.
We can't let them get out. We need them for our honey supply.
That's also how we neuter employees.
KFUG is also like an underground black market honey salesman.
We insert bees into their reproductive organs.
I think I said salesman, like KFUG is a person. Like,
We also sell bees.
Like there's one entity that is KFUG.
the KFUG. It's like Monster House.
it's like a creature with a
It's like
suit,
the
but
Overlook.
its head is a radio antenna.
No, it's like the Overlook Hotel. The place itself is sentient and malevolent.
The Overlook Hotel?
Have you never seen The Shining? Or read it?
I know it exists.
She's literally uncultured.
Uncultured like my milk.
Hey, Jessica. Persephone hasn't even seen The Shining. Or in the book.
Okay, I've seen the movie. I've only gotten about through half of the book.
Thank you. At least you have some culture.
That's your culture barometer.
She hasn't seen The Shining.
Also,
Or
that
read it.
sounded so mean the way you phrased it. Like, at least you have some culture. You're digging a grave.
I don't know, I feel like The Shining's like a good, like,
I'm not saying it's bad.
whenever it came out, kind of like cult film.
A cult classic.
Which one though? Because there was a mini series.
Yeah, it depends on which one.
Yeah.
No, the Stanley
And then-
Kubrick movie.
Oh heck yeah, that's a good movie.
See? And Persephone's over here like, you're digging a grave. Meanwhile, her's got like anime stickers.
Well, if that's your barometer, am I in on this recording now?
Come on in. Come on in.
Okay. If that's your culture barometer, I kind of feel like that's kind of skewed.
Oh, I was
but
completely teasing.
oh.
I just thought it was like
Oh,
enough of a
dang.
joke people would.
Discord. All right, debate. Jessica, pull up that chair. We're gonna have ourselves a good old-fashioned debate.
I was hoping for something like this because of the power. Okay, somebody has a windscreen on the floor.
As you do.
Contaminated, but whatever.
Contaminated.
We work with what we got.
That one unfortunately doesn't work, so you'll have to share with Eleni.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Totally fine. Scoot on close. I promise I don't
Oh.
bite.
That is the one thing. We don't have like the electricity interference, but these channels don't work.
Ah, I see.
Only the first two. So I'll
Okay,
have to ask
cool.
Paul.
This is the first time I've ever recorded anything, I think, in here. So it's usually always been on the radio, on live. So
That's true. This will be cemented forever. This will be your standing legacy.
okay.
So Gwen, what's your counterpoint?
To what? You didn't
Oh, you know.
produce any kind of
Oh,
argument.
you know.
You're cringe.
Why are we talking about The Shining anyway? What started this conversation?
I don't remember.
What did
Yeah,
start this
if I'm gonna be
conversation?
completely honest, I do not remember at
Okay.
all.
Oh, we were talking about how KFUG was a sentient, malevolent entity, and I said, like the Overlook Hotel.
Oh yeah, because of our underground bee and honey business.
We're on the black market, didn't you know?
I didn't.
Yeah. Well, you're not supposed to. It's a secret. Shh. Well, sorry. Just
That you guys are recording for posterity?
You look at me like Igor looking at Dracula.
like E-Girl. Like
Okay,
Igor.
Igor is in
Igor.
Frankenstein. You're mixing your novels there. You're mixing
No,
your
I'm
Universal
thinking of
Monsters.
2004. I'm thinking of 2004 as Van Helsing.
I love the phrase. You're looking at me like an E-Girl looks at Dracula, though.
I heard E-Girl too, not gonna lie. And I kind of like it.
I
Like,
heard
I think
Igor,
it very
but-
much would be a thing.
I think it was Igor, but E-Girl
Maybe.
is what I'm going with.
Maybe Dracula is an E-girl.
Maybe Igor's an E-Girl. You don't know.
I don't know what E-Girl is.
So, all right.
It's
Because
like
I'm like a generation ahead of you guys, or maybe like a generation and a half ahead of you guys.
It's like the Gen Xers, or sorry, Gen Zers.
Gen
Kinda
Zers?
means-
Okay, I'm like Gen Y, XY.
See, when someone who identifies as feminine does something they enjoy on the internet, people are awful about it and brand them by a title to basically say, oh, you have a generic interest.
Men are angry that women have interests, so they call them E-girls. Sometimes it's also Visco girls. Sometimes it's E-thoughts. Sometimes it's just sluts or whores.
I
But
want to
basically-
say that's not a generational thing. Maybe the term E-Girl is, but
Oh no, E-Girl is
Yeah, it's
just
just the
this
latest.
one's...
It's just
Right.
the latest in
Yeah.
a long line of saying you have a personality and I don't like it.
It's like if someone were to call you a Valley Girl.
Basically.
Oh, brother.
Or like prep or like any kind of like pigeonhole label.
It's just another supposed to be offensive term, but it's not really that offensive.
How many people here have read My Immortal? No one.
I think you're the only
Jessica,
one.
I assumed you wouldn't, but Gwen. You don't know Raven, Darkness, Ebony, Dementia, Ravenway?
Well, first off, you got the order of the names wrong.
So you have read it.
I have read of it.
I haven't
Okay.
read it, but I have heard the name only because of TikTok.
I'm just saying there's the iconic scene. I saw a group of preps, and I stuck my middle finger up at them.
I put up my finger at them.
Should we... You know what?
I am
Jessica?
really old.
So, My Immortal
Jeez.
is a Harry Potter fanfiction
Oh God.
about a really goth girl who doesn't like preps. Or...
Isn't she also Voldemort's daughter or something?
Yes.
Wait, time out. Voldemort had a daughter?
No, it's
Well,
a fan
fan
fiction.
fiction is where the fan writes like their own fantasy with.
No, I know what
like,
fanfic
yeah.
is. I've
So,
read fanfic, but
The fanfic
Ooh,
is
Jessica's
that,
read fanfic.
From what, what a material? Fanfiction of what?
What are your fandoms,
you open this jar
Jessica?
of worms.
Can I guess?
Harry
Can I
Potter.
I was gonna guess Hamilton.
No, and I haven't read fan fiction in a really, really long time. Harry Potter and Pride and Prejudice would be my fan fiction.
I've never heard of a Pride and Prejudice fanfic.
Oh heck yeah!
There's a
Pride and
market for
Prejudice and
everything.
zombies is basically a fan fiction,
It is.
This is actually really...
and so is there's
I have a
a
copy of that book. It's a real thing.
there's a
I
mini
wanna read
series
it.
called Death Comes to Pemberley, and that's also based in fan fiction, Jane Austen fan fiction. So
Can we talk about how Jane Austen was like like, okay, specifically, like, okay, like, Pride and Prejudice, like, the first probably, like, male novel protagonist who respects boundaries and, like, comes around to, like...
He doesn't respect boundaries.
He does later on.
Yeah, later on, but it takes Elizabeth to show him that, her first rejection, if you've read it, I'm guessing you've read it.
Oh, he's going to be so sad he's not here.
A long time ago?
So
okay. Her first rejection of Mr. Darcy's proposal, I think, showed him that, okay, this girl has boundaries, and I need to respect them.
And exactly, that's what I was going to get at. Despite the kind of classical, slightly dated nature of the novel, in many ways, Mr. Darcy is more respectful than a lot of modern male so-called protagonists who don't really show much growth and are simply a vessel for the male reader's entitlement and, like, wish fulfillment.
Well, she was also kind of ahead of her time when she wrote that novel anyway. I mean...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was getting at that dually. I smell apple juice.
I'm not sure why.
Oh.
Your tea's over there, but it's green tea.
Hand me my tea.
We shouldn't set it near wires.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
For...
If Paul
saw that, he would probably
Don't
not
worry,
be happy.
Paul. There's no tea on the wires.
Wink. Wink.
The audience knows.
The audience knows. It's all that matters.
For the cloud, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. We got all of our like.
It's empty. I can put it down.
Just chug your tea.
Yeah. Can we talk about how Harry Potter wasn't even original, and like Ursula, I think it's correct me if I'm wrong, the Earthsea series, I believe it is, was basically like Harry Potter before it was Harry Potter.
Oh snap.
Can we just talk about like all of the fantasy tropes and hero tropes and archetypes and stuff that J.K. Rowling borrows from to create Harry Potter?
Exactly. You know the best part of Harry Potter? Hermione Granger and Luna Lovegood. Only two good characters. Only two good characters.
Nah.
And the spider.
The spider?
I like the spider.
Aragog?
I like the spider.
He was cool. I liked him too.
No particular reason, I just like spiders.
Spiders are awesome. I love spiders.
One of my earliest like elementary memories is when one of my like childhood best friends their sister got a tarantula and it was like supposed to turn pink as it got older, but it never happened. It died.
Aww.
I just remember like expecting it to turn pink and then just one day like Tibbles was gone. So rest in peace, Tibbles.
Tibbles.
Tibbles the tarantula.
That's
Tarantulas are
cute.
kind of
That is
high
cute.
maintenance pets. You probably should not give one to a child.
The sister was I think like mid to late teen.
Fun fact, female tarantulas can live well through their 40s.
I love it.
The males just die though.
Telling me you can have a pet that has a wine mom addiction?
What is a wine mom?
What the does that mean?
Wine moms?
No, what is a pet with a wine mom addiction mean?
Well, I just meant like wine addiction, but I wanted to make it clear that the tarantula is a wine mom in this scenario.
Is a wine mom basically a middle-aged white woman
Who likes to drink
who likes
wine.
to drink wine?
But
Yes.
like,
And
She
as a
makes
mom?
it-
It's
she
like the
makes it her
staple
personality.
of- yeah.
She makes it her personality. Like, live, laugh, love, having a glass of rosé.
Oh,
the doctor
God.
told me I can only have one glass, and so that's why I bought this comically large wine glass that can fit 3 gallons of wine. I don't have a problem.
It's like
we
socially
just-
acceptable
can we-
alcoholism.
I friggin' hate that.
It
I-
The doctor
it's
only said I could
just-
have one
It
glass.
It just really bothers me. Like the whole freaking trope really bothers me. And I guess it's just because that's become like a thing.
A cultural norm, yeah.
Yeah, like it's raining outside, but I'm in here having a glass of Merlot or red or whatever the heck wine du jour. I don't even drink wine.
It all tastes the
Crap's
same.
disgusting.
I do drink wine, but like I do think people who make it their personality need to be bullied, just like I have to bully Persephone when she does annoying things.
What if we bully you?
Then I'll cry and you'll feel bad.
That's true. I would feel bad, but
Manipulation 101.
unless you friggin' deserve it, because if you bully other people and you start crying if the tables are turned,
When
then
I say bully, I mean lovingly roast,
Oh, yeah.
just like she roasts me. She spent like 10 minutes earlier making me like laugh so hard with roast I couldn't speak.
oh, that's cool. I'm hungry.
Hi, hungry. I'm Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
I'm hungry.
Where did you go? Where were you?
Did you get the milk like you said you were?
They were out. I had to run to the Costco, like, in the next county. I'm sorry, son. I always meant
That's
to
a good 2-hour drive.
I always meant to come back for you.
Well,
I'm old.
I think this has been another successful Voicecast, personally. Any parting words for our loving audience?
I just want to tell you, you never disappointed me, my boy. You were a good son and you've grown up to be.
There's no boys in this room.
I know. I'm just having fun. Let me be.
Wait. Elliot.
Elliot.
We've come full circle. So Elliot is Jessica, in case you didn't know, Elliot is the Victorian child who we use for our no swearing rule, because he's a Victorian child. He's never heard a dirty word. If he hears one, he'll die. And he heard one earlier, so he's dead. But...
Boogie woogie woogie.
It's fun.
I'm his dad.
Assuming that Victorian children have never heard dirty words or didn't have dirty words
I'm
of
pretty
their
sure
own.
they watched executions in public, so like I think they had pretty tough palates.
You know what? That's pretty fair.
Some Victorian children may
I
have
think
watched
a Victorian
executions.
child would have been like, "Oh, a slur. Will you please say another?"
Sounds like another episode of Discourse Debate. Let's talk about that on the next episode of the Redwood Voicecast. Thank you for listening. Say bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.